Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast, episode 100. My name is Craig Goldberg. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I've done it 100 times, and I'm going to do it 1,000 more. I am here with our co-hosts of Yes Have Some Podcast, Abigail Gardner.
What's up, guys? Happy 100.
And Jacob Walsh.
What's up, guys?
What a party we're having.
What's happening?
We've got masks on.
We all wear masks.
Yeah.
We do, metaphorically speaking.
I'm going to unmask because I'm starting to fog up in here.
You guys look good. You guys look good. Jake, you want to unmask before we get started here?
Yeah. I'm going to take this mask off as well, yeah.
I like that.
You know what, though? It was fun. I liked the party.
It was a good party.
It's a good party.
While it lasted. While Jake unmasks, I do want to welcome everybody to our 100th episode here at Yes Have Some. We've been doing this for over 2 years. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So the audience...
Jacob Walsh.
The folks listening on audio don't know this, but Jake just derobed. He was wearing an Indoraptor mask.
It was a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It was a T-Rex, and now...
Craig knows his dinosaurs.
He has on the famous, the fabled, the talked about, the Slimer mask from Answer the Call.
Dude.
I had to break it out, 100th episode. I figured it needed to come out of the case,
I love that so much. I have to get a picture of it now.
Did you get that out of your safety deposit box at the bank?
I did.
Where do you keep that thing?
I do have a glass, display case that has some masks and busts, and this is proudly displayed in the back of it.
Dude, is it like folded up, or do you have it on top of like a
I have it on like a little
head?
I have it on like a little mannequin head, so it will stay by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can't see any of the autographs. Basically, they're all like, I know just for the people who watch. There are some autographs all over this, but they're not very good ones. But hey.
Well, they're good people, just not great autographs.
They're just,
Who do you got on there?
This is Paul Feig, Ernie Hudson, Kristen Wiig. Everybody signed it. Everybody except...
Kate McKinnon. Melissa McCarthy didn't sign it, right?
Kate McKinnon did sign... Melissa McCarthy is the only one that did not sign.
Right.
Yeah.
And for that, we say
Dan Aykroyd's
and that's
on
why
here
we don't like her
somewhere.
in the movie.
That's the only reason.
No, I remember everyone commenting, though, when that happened. It was like, Melissa McCarthy didn't sign. Everyone else was doing a lot more interaction. So.
Yeah. Also, Bill Murray didn't sign it because he didn't fucking show up. Mm-hmm. I'm still not over that one. I thought that was my chance to meet the...
We thought we were going to see him, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
I was holding out hope. I thought maybe he'd show up in the theater or something.
Yeah, I thought...
Give us our pizza.
Just ruin the movie for everybody. It just shows up halfway
it'd
through
be
the
him
movie.
that ruined it.
Listen, we love Bill Murray. He's one of the... I don't know, those mythical creatures of Hollywood. We're all fans. And
there was a documentary that just came out about
There was. Tommy Avalone.
lore,
who did Ghost Heads. He just did a documentary about Bill Murray and all the... all of the fanfare and the urban legends of Bill Murray showing.
Has anybody seen it?
I haven't. They've been premiering it at festivals and South by Southwest and things like that. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see that soon.
I'd love to see it and see if it's like just focused on like one insane Bill Murray fan or if it's like an actual documentary.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's two documentaries. The one that there is a documentary that a girl put out that is just about her, how she's obsessed.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Oh, okay.
No, I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking of. It's a different movie.
You know what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I like a different movie more.
Yeah.
Listen. That's the third time.
Easy Tiger.
Okay.
Just playing.
Did you get any fans to sign that Slimer mask?
Fans?
Yeah, like fans of the franchise.
I should have.
Like famous fans of the franchise?
I should have because I know one guy's probably mad that I didn't.
Yeah. Well, listen. We're not here to be negative. Listen, before we get started, I wanted to make a list for myself of accomplishments and things that have happened for Yes Have Some podcast in the time that we started. And I found myself making a list of just things that have happened in the world since Yes Have Some have started. And since the podcast has started. And I realized that there's a chance that by starting this show, we have somehow changed the course of history, and everything's going wrong. So we might just want to rethink.
We messed it up. We should
messed it up.
stop.
Since
You're saying we should butterfly effect this.
We
and
need
go
like
back.
cable to come and stop things in reverse.
Here's the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we started the show, Donald Trump became president.
Okay.
Carrie Fisher died.
Mm-hmm.
People
Yeah.
don't even really like Star Wars anymore.
Roseanne's canceled.
Okay, everything's fine. then.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Hey, we got a third Ghostbusters movie, and it was great, and the franchise is perfectly fine.
Exactly.
It's in
It's in good hands, capable hands. Right?
God damn it! I knew it. That's gonna come back to bite me. This is the Yes Have Some Inside Joke episode. So
Yeah.
if this is
That's
your
all it
first
is.
time tuning in, I would suggest going back, listening to a few back issues, as they used to
Yeah,
call
like
them.
100 of them.
Yeah, listen to 100 episodes. Then
It's more like 100. It's more like 105 if you count the live episodes. I think.
We had some live episodes.
We didn't count them.
We didn't count. Last week we had our solo review. We didn't even count that
Yep.
because we were in a hotel. You can't record a podcast in a hotel and number it.
It's not a serious podcast.
I actually went back and listened to some of it. It's one of the first things I say as I go, I'm not going to waste the 100th episode on a hotel. So, anyways, listen, we're extremely, all joking aside, I can't speak for the two of you, although sometimes I do. I'm extremely excited that we've been doing this for 2 years. I'm humbled by the amazing people that I get to surround myself every week with. Not you guys, just other people that I've met in life. No, you guys, you're my best friends, and I promised myself I wouldn't cry. No. We I'm gonna do a Mike Myers impersonation every week. I've had a blast.
I need it every like half an hour.
Yeah, I've groovy baby.
Ow!
Listen, I don't want to go on and ramble because I'll keep going, but I've really enjoyed myself over the last 2 years and these last 100 episodes, and I want to keep it going full steam ahead. Abby, how do you feel 100 episodes into Yes Have Some podcast?
I mean, I feel very grateful. I feel surprised that we're already at 100 because like it kind of feels like we just started. But then as I was looking back and scrolling, I went to
And then you try to set up the audio and video and go, I can't believe this is give me cancer
still
now.
happening.
God.
yeah, exactly. Like I can't believe I'm still doing it. But no, we've recorded this many episodes. It's insane. I still get stressed before we sit down. I'm very glad that we started our podcast. I feel like the ripple out effect has been really cool. We've met a lot of really awesome people and had opportunities to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do without like the three of us coming together. And I think it's special. And
It is special.
Yeah.
Hey, right now in my hand, I'm holding something that we didn't have 2 years ago. That's a good thing that happened. Ghostbusters Playmobil toys. I don't know who this is. He's kind of a ghost. Is that Paul Feig?
That's like Gertrude Aldridge's dad. Or it's Paul Feig.
Or Paul Feig. Wait a minute. Is Paul Feig Gertrude Aldridge's dad?
Technically, yeah, he created her. I don't know
he?
if that was...
Jake, how you feeling 100 episodes in?
I'm fine.
All right, Jacob Walsh.
Jake is
No,
fine.
dude. I just echoing everything you guys said. Like I feel like we've been able to do and bullshit our way into a lot of things that we would not have been able to do or bullshit our way into without, acting semi-professional once a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to bullshit our way out of things too.
Yeah, but we're able to, and it's great. I was looking back through, our episode list in preparation for this episode, and I was just like, oh shit, I forgot we did this. I forgot this happened. I was just like, wow, we really have done a lot of stuff. And
I was like, we talked about La La Land?
I was like, I don't remember this. Whatever.
Gilmore
Yeah,
Girls?
we've done a lot of stuff. Yeah, and it's been great.
We have. So this is how this is gonna work. We're gonna roll out with some stress. We got a little fuck budget. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But first, I wanted to talk about our weekend that we just had. If you listen to our last episode, you would know that we are in Orlando, or we were last weekend. We did Star Wars The Void, the VR experience. I know we talked about it, but I still say if you're not planning on doing that or you haven't done it yet, drop what you're doing,
Yeah, seriously.
Cancel your plans.
Sell some stuff.
Sell your shit. If you're a child, go ahead and just get emancipated from your parents. And just
Move to Orlando.
Move to Orlando. And make sure you... make sure
By yourself.
Check out The Void. It's very...
do all of that for a 10-minute thing.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's worth it. Hey,
It's
listen,
so
man.
worth it.
I lust for virtual reality now. I think I've been in a bad mood all week
that.
because...
Don't say lust.
Don't say... You don't like the word lust?
Sin.
It's one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah,
Just
it really
not when
is.
you say it in that context.
Hey, by the way, also, it used to be glutton was one of the 7 deadly sins. Now it's gluten.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Was
There
that
you
him
go.
on the spot?
I just made that up. That's probably not the first person to say that.
No, but I do respect
You
that.
respect it? So all this to say, Jake was just talking about how we've gotten to do a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of experiences together in the last couple of years. We took part in something on Monday afternoon that I wanted to bring up right now. For the first time ever, Yes Have Some podcast took part in saving a human being's life.
Heroism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. I was
we-
like, what is he about to say? I was like, we were just driving on Monday.
And I was like, Monday, we went to Taco Bell.
We did go to Taco Bell. But hours later, we were with Hal Clay, friend of the podcast. We were driving down Jake's Street, and we saw a child. Not only did a child get saved, let's face it, Hal did the work. All we did was
I
walk.
jumped out of the car, though,
Yeah. There was
with the inclination to help.
There was a group of children in a front yard by Jake's house. One of them was dangling from like...
When you drove up, you could tell that like something was
Something
weird,
was wrong.
something was
All the
off,
kids
'cause they
were
weren't
crying.
Just, yeah,
All
they
the
were all
kids were crying.
circled around the one kid.
And they were all circled around this one child, this little girl, who's dangling like off a 10-foot ledge that drops down into running water, like near a sewer grate or whatever. And the kids are running towards the house, screaming. So I'm like, okay, they're going to get the parents. And then like 10 more kids run out of the house.
Yeah, more kids come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So, not to dwell on this, Hal jumped out of the car, saved the child. We're superheroes now. We're in the MCU. Jake, what's your superhero special power?
That you just put me on the spot. I can eat a lot of bread.
Ooh, that's good.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
gain a
Guess
pound.
that gluten
Yeah,
is
that's
not a
it.
problem for you. Hey, episode 100. All right, gluten
So,
jokes.
listen. Shout out to the little girl whose life we saved.
Yes, shout out to her.
I'm
and to
sure
Hal.
she's listening.
She's a huge fan now.
She's a
She's
big fan.
drawing. She's like drawing pictures of Hal, putting them on her. She's like, that's my.
I promise you, there was a guy, there was a man.
There was a man. He had a handlebar
had a-
mustache.
He had a beautiful mustache,
He did.
a shiny head.
Hal got mad at me for not filming that.
Yeah.
Because I
Hal
had been
came
filming
back
everything else all
screaming.
goddamn weekend. And I was,
Hey, that's Hal's altruism. You didn't fucking film
You
it?
didn't film it? Still gonna make a post.
I love that.
I liked his post.
I think it's fitting that we saved a child from being sucked into a sewer.
Yeah. Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
there's there's a lot
By
of
that
meaning.
logic, the next kid we save will be being sucked into a proton trap.
Yeah.
Is that what those are called? Do I even like Ghostbusters anymore?
Ghost
Yeah.
trap. A ghost
A
trap.
proton trap. All right, cool. So, let's talk about MegaCon. I want to. Jake,
Me too.
we had a lot of build up
Let's
to this
do it.
convention. What was your takeaway?
Oh, it was. I'll just have to say, off the bat, like we were only there for a day. It was the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Everything ran smoothly. We were in and out of Jeff Goldblum's autograph line in 20 minutes,
Right.
which is insane. We were able to walk around, do what we wanted. We got into our photo op line, which took maybe 30 minutes, if that. I don't know. It wasn't long.
It wasn't long.
It was smooth. It was easy. It wasn't crowded. I was shocked how good everything was at the convention. It was the complete opposite of every other
Everything.
convention.
Conventions in general are pretty stressful. Like just the nature of being around thousands of people in long lines. It's
Yeah.
usually hot.
Absolutely.
What was your experience like?
My experience was much like Jake. I was blown away by like how different it was in a good way from the other conventions that we've attended recently.
Yeah.
And when we arrived, the line to get in was extremely long. One of Jake's friends, our mutual friend Andrea, was able to help us out. We kind of like snuck in, which was really nice. But that big line had me thinking that we would be encountering even longer lines, like once we got inside the convention.
By the way, we didn't sneak in.
We didn't sneak.
Okay.
She's my
None
sister,
of that happened.
first of all.
We have a long. So Jake was talking about bullshitting our way into things.
Yeah.
There's a good example. We tend to we're sneaky.
Yeah.
We're sneaky.
We find ways in.
We find ways in.
We end up in the front of the line.
But it didn't matter because everything was running so smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, being inside of a convention where there's a whole bunch of people is stressful. So for me, having my backpack with all of my stuff is important. As soon as we got inside and got in the Jeff Goldblum autograph line, I just got my comic books out and like kind of sat down.
Just sat on the floor.
Like crisscross.
Hey, you know what's fun when you're in line for...
Yeah, I get stressed by like large crowds.
When you're in a long line, you know what's great? When the guy behind you starts talking to you and just wants to do his Jeff Goldblum impression.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that.
It was good.
Thanks
it was a good
for
impression.
That. Jeff Goldblum is somebody we were all excited about interacting with and meeting. I think he's kind of on the level of Bill Murray these days, as kind of one of those mythical... Everybody's got a story about Jeff Goldblum. He seems much more accessible, though, right? Like...
Yeah, well, he goes to conventions.
Yeah.
But, like, what I'm saying is, like, even if Bill Murray did conventions, I don't think that everybody's experience meeting him would be great.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe he'd be an asshole to, like, half the people, or...
Well, one of our first
all
episodes...
of them.
One of our first episodes ever, we had a long discussion about Bill Murray throwing people's cell phones off of a building.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like he probably has a short fuse.
Like, you've never heard of Jeff Goldblum, like, oh, he stole my wallet and threw it in a river. Abby?
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
God.
Just deep breath, sniff it in.
Like, I remember the way he smelled. It was like a vanilla musk or something. It was very, very good.
Did he live up to your expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. He was tall and like, built and like he had a real presence. And that line also was somehow less stressful than every other line that we've been in before. I felt like all three of us were really on our game.
Well, we're so used to Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Dragon Con is like the height of social anxiety and stress because there's literally 70,000 people moving in 40 different directions, and it's hard to get places. And then, like, we went to Star Wars Celebration last year, which I think we're going to talk about. Also very crowded, and it was in the same convention center as MegaCon. But, I mean, I agree with Jake. That was a really well-run and, like, smooth day at a convention. So kudos to MegaCon.
I've been to MegaCon a few times before. It's been a few years since I went, but the 2 or 3 times I went, I did not like it. And I remember one year, the last time I went to MegaCon, I had a pass for the whole weekend. I went one day and I was like, I'm not going back to that because I remember it being like twice as crowded. Like I remember it being like worse than how the Dragon Con dealer rooms are. And I was just like, I don't need to go back there. And so I was kind of expecting that, and it wasn't like that at all.
Right. It was in a big convention center. I think the same convention center as Star Wars Celebration. And it was just cool. There was good vendors. Jake, I know you got your hands on some goodies.
Yeah,
some
bought
treats.
a bunch of Godzilla toys. Yeah, got some
Jake
good stuff.
Now, Abby.
Yeah.
You didn't do the full reveal on Instagram, but you got your hands on something pretty special.
I feel like I should have them right now to show off or show and tell. But yeah, I did.
Why don't you do this?
Yeah.
You go grab those.
Cool. I'll be right back.
And I'll talk to Jake about something else. Jake, you're a Godzilla...
Yes.
Here, the Godzilla Corner, presented by Yes I Have Some Podcast.
Get yourself out there.
Godzilla is a franchise that's near and dear to your heart. We were talking recently about which franchises and which...
I'm looking Myra.
Abby ducked on her way out and then walked right in front of the camera.
Oh, my bad, guys. I'll let you enjoyed it.
We were talking recently about franchises that are the most accessible and have the most to offer their fans. Obviously, Star Wars being one of them. Right now, Jurassic Park is everywhere. Star Trek, all this stuff. Godzilla, there's a lot of shit.
There is, but the problem with it is that most of it isn't over here in the United States. Like, there's tons of Godzilla stuff everywhere in Japan, and I mean, like anywhere you go over there, there's Godzilla merchandise. It's like it's like you can find, you know, Mickey Mouse or Avengers stuff in any store you go to. Godzilla's, I think, pretty similar in a lot of places over there, but over here you're not seeing as much of it. You know, we're getting some stuff because we got the American movies that are happening, but mostly it's like going to conventions, finding like all that stuff. This one guy had a table just full of Godzilla stuff, and it's all like imported. You know, none of it's like American toys. They're all like
Yeah.
nice, you know, imported figures. So I always try to, like, when I come across that stuff, I try to buy as much of it as I can, just because you don't see it that often. And Dragon Con, you don't find really any of it. So
No. And one thing, I feel like the dealers were fairly reasonably priced down at MegaCon this year.
yeah, most of it was good.
So Jake got into
can
some
negotiate.
Godzilla stuff. Now, Abigail,
Yeah.
before we move on to our stress this week, why don't you drop some knowledge on what you came across and how it happened?
Well, we were going through the vendor area, and there wasn't a lot of like old vintage stuff. But there was down in like, I think one of the booth that we went to had a stack of old photos, and I was kind of digging deep, and I found both of these Indiana Jones, like from the most recent one with Shia LaBeouf. Is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Yeah, okay. So I got these two, and then I looked on the back, and you have to collect all 4 photos. They're like limited movie prints or whatever, photographs.
Let's see what are they.
And like,
so we'll show the camera here.
you need them. Like everybody needs them.
For those listening, what Abby's holding here, and how much were these?
Well, they were marked at $10 a piece, and I grabbed both of them. And then I grabbed a bunch of singles out of my backpack, and I also had like a lollipop in my mouth, so I was being like super casual. And like as I was going
bargaining.
I was going through my ones and like took one of them out and put them inside my bag, and I had $5, and I was like, "Hey, dude, can I get both of these for $5?" And
he looked at you like, hey, this guy's selling stuff, and you were like, "Can I get both of these for $5?" And the look on his face was like, "Why? Why would you want the?"
He was like,
I was like,
he was
dude.
like, please take them for $5.
So we got two.
I was excited.
I'll give you $5.
Two. These are official pics, officially licensed photographs. They're framed or they're matted. One is Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf walking through some sort of Indiana Jones looking. I've only seen this movie one time.
Yeah, I
it
saw
was
it in
so
theaters
good.
once.
I don't want to ruin it by keep watching it all the time. And then the other one's just Shia LaBeouf looking very cool on a motorcycle. So, congrats. I hope you can
I
collect
have
all
like a
4.
soft spot for really bad movie like related products, or just for like just B movie like shitty stuff that like I
It's
didn't know
kitschy.
existed.
It's a little
yeah,
kitschy.
exactly. So I'm happy to have it.
Cool. So that was MegaCon. We have the picture up with Jeff Goldblum. You can check it out on Facebook. Facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast, the official Facebook page for Yes Have Some. And of course, if you want to get in on these discussions at any time, we're all over social media at YHS Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And then the official discussion group for Yes Have Some Podcast, which is Yes Have Some Group Therapy. All you got to do is go to Facebook, search YHS Group Therapy, and join, because it's a private group, because you do not want to see the stuff we're talking about in there. Actually, you do. Toys, movies, stress. There's a lot of solo talk this week, a lot of stress, and it's a lot of fun. We love talking with everybody and seeing all the toys that you're buying, or the toys you're not buying, or what I'm always posting about, the toys that I can't afford but I want to buy. I talked to Jake about us just going to Walmart and reviewing toys on the shelves without buying, just doing
Opening them. Opening them.
Yeah, just like, I don't want this shit. It's not
They
good.
don't
I just reviewed it. But did you guys have any other thoughts on MegaCon or our trip to Orlando before we move on?
I think we covered it, except no. I mean, I think that's we talked about everything except for the fact that like Craig won't get in an elevator anymore.
I will get in an elevator.
Dude, we took
Do we wanna talk
so
about
many
it?
stairs.
I'll talk about it. I'm holding a pair of Psy right now.
Yeah.
Not the Gangnam Style Psy, but the Raphael size.
Good reference.
Good reference, Craig. I will get an
hot
elevator.
topic.
I don't love... Okay, here's my theory about elevators. If I'm in a big hotel or something, or a major building, I'm going to be fine. But let's say we got stuck in that elevator.
Okay.
We're talking a half hour to 45 minutes before anybody's helping us, right?
I don't know because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's never happened to me
never
before. It
happened to
could
me.
be 2 minutes.
All right, here's my other theory. I walked up and down 8 flights of stairs like 40 times this weekend, and I didn't feel bad about it, okay?
Dude, my glutes feel good.
My legs felt good.
look
I could
good.
eat whatever I want. I had chicken tenders. I
I can eat whatever I want.
I can eat whatever I want.
That's
Sure.
exactly how
Hey,
I felt.
so can I.
Yeah. Well, you just told us your special power was eating bread. God, I'm jealous. Let's move on before this turns into a Craig.
I was going to mention that we
therapy
went to that
session.
Acme Superstore, which was a huge toy collection.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that-
yeah.
vintage store.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
place was amazing.
Yeah, if you're in the Orlando area, check out Acme Superstore. It's a big vintage toy store. They had a lot of really great stuff.
It did.
A lot of
Behind glass.
Behind glass.
Specifically, everything looks so much better behind glass.
It will absolutely make you hate the way your collection is displayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to hate
Yeah.
everything.
Like
you
I
have.
need another reason to hate something about myself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Happy
episode
100.
100 of Yes Have Some Podcast. We're going to keep reminding you. We got some fun stuff coming up in the next couple weeks, but it's time. This is what put us on the map, folks. The traditional YHS stress.
You look a little stressed.
Is this some radical new therapy?
Why don't you do something with your life? Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
I know I got stress this week, Abby. I know you've got stress.
Boom, ba 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 boom, ba-da-da-boom, boom. We doing that? Bring that
Yeah.
song
Oh,
back?
it already happened. It already happened.
Hey, Jake, we're still
Oh, it
going
happened.
It's already happening.
And then, okay.
That's what
Gotcha.
happened.
now. Okay.
Jacob Walsh,
Yeah.
100 episodes.
100
What are
episodes.
you stressed about this week?
The
What's got
same,
you?
just like the same old shit. Everything.
Yeah, I'm like. By the way,
Conventions, the leprechaun.
Oh, God. Meh.
like people are like, what do they talk about if like somebody doesn't know? Like, oh, you gotta check out this podcast called Yes Have Some. Well, what kind of stuff do they talk about? Well, they got this one episode where they were talking about how like all of the shelves got rearranged at Target, and like all the Jurassic World stuff's supposed to be there, but it's
it's
fucking not. That kind of stuff. The important stuff. Jake, man.
They're like, hey, I think he's finally gonna buy those Kong Skull Island toys this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're finally going to do that episode that summer of 89.
Yeah. Hey, we've been waiting on. Hey, we've been waiting on pins and needles since spring of 2017 to see if they're gonna get those skull, fucking King Kong toys, or the hey. What did they talk about this week? Well, Abby talked for 30 minutes
About
how
Powerpuff Girl toys.
she's waiting for those Rampage figures to go to the clearance aisle. We do this because we fucking are mental.
Yeah.
Okay,
Listen.
listen.
I have a completely unrelated stress to this, but I want to start this stress session by reading you guys something. It was posted today.
I'm popping a Coke Zero on that one.
Okay, I'm
This
going to get my
is
sour
ridiculous.
sauce.
This is just completely ridiculous to me. So, you remember a couple weeks ago, or I don't know, maybe a couple months ago at this point, that teaser for like a new Leprechaun movie came out?
Oh yeah, we talked
And
about
it's like, remember, and it's not Warwick Davis. It's like a new guy, and he's like, pretend he's like doing an impression of Warwick Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a quote by this guy. This is amazing.
Hey, you have to do a leprechaun accent.
That's offensive. I don't think he said this in the Leprechaun accent. I hope
Then he
did.
already sucks.
I hope he did. All right. So he goes, he says, I didn't really try to take too much from Warwick Davis. I think everything in this movie is my own. This is the good part. I modeled it actually after, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger? Basically, that's who I sort of, as soon as I thought of the Leprechaun, I thought of the Joker. So I sort of modeled the Leprechaun after that. Heath Ledger was absolutely outstanding in that movie. I just sort of modeled it after him like a little bit, put my own spin on it as well, and I'm pretty happy with my performance in it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So we have, so this movie is going to be like a new guy doing an impression of Warwick Davis doing an impression of Heath Ledger. Is that what this Leprechaun movie is? He gonna like?
I want to see this.
I am completely in for this movie.
Why so serious about me gold?
That was pretty good.
He's got like a little nurse's uniform on.
That was pretty good.
You like that one?
I liked it.
This is just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If you're gonna borrow from somebody, borrow from Heath Ledger and Warwick Davis. I mean, right?
Are we getting to a point where like that's what every actor's gonna do? They're gonna be like, I just modeled it after Heath Ledger and the Joker. No matter what the role is.
Movie. All right, we Entertainment Tonight caught up with John C. Reilly, reprising his role as Wreck-It Ralph. What was your? He's like, Heath Ledger, Joker. All right, that's all you need. I like it. I kind of want to see a whole movie, the entire plot of The Dark Knight, but with the Leprechaun is what I want to see.
God, that would be amazing. Hey, you know who really, really though should have like taken some inspiration from Jared Leto's Joker? Wait, from Heath Ledger's Joker?
It's Jared Leto. Reverse it.
Jared Leto.
I got you.
I ruined it, but that's what I meant.
We knew where you were going.
Absolutely.
Now, what? All right, Abby.
You're gonna fix that.
Yes.
No, I'm not. But
we're not.
I'm gonna throw this to Abby.
Yeah.
How would you feel about the guy who's playing the Leprechaun basing his performance on Jared Leto's version of the Joker?
Then I'm 100% in. No. I need to see a Leprechaun movie, first of all, but I like that he's basing it off the Heath Ledger Joker, because that's very cool.
Yeah. It's so cool.
It's just so cool.
Yeah. It just makes sense.
It makes sense. As soon as we're done recording this, I'm going to go watch, all the movies.
You want to know how I got these scars?
But I can still appreciate your accent.
Shut up. No one cares about your father, man. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Do you want to see a leprechaun wearing, like, bright purple pajama pants shopping at Hot Topic? Because that's basically...
tattoos.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I do.
Me too.
I was in Hot Topic recently, and I'm bummed that I didn't see that.
Tell us what happened there.
I was trying to find a shirt to wear for this goddamn Jeff Goldblum photo op. You all know how stressed we get about photo ops.
We do.
And I realized, I thought I had a million Jurassic Park shirts, and I did, but they were all, cut-offs and, shirts that I bought over, the last couple of years, and they're kind of worn out, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jake, what else you got, man?
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of a standard for stress, but, we're getting into... These couple of months are super busy, I think, for conventions, and, we just had MegaCon. DragonCon is coming up in... I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Right before literally the week before DragonCon. I've talked about this before on the show. I have a work convention that I go to, so it's I'm gone for a week. I'll be home for a few days and then go right back to DragonCon. But also, I got tickets for this thing called SharkCon that's coming up. In between now and DragonCon, and it's only a 2-day event, but a couple Jaws people are going to be there, and Carl Gottlieb's going to be there, and I don't have his autograph on anything, and I'm going to try to get Richard Dreyfuss's autograph again, and I'm a little stressed about that. It's outside, so that kind of sucks.
Oh, that is stressful.
Outside in Tampa, Florida,
in the
middle of the fucking it's gonna suck. So that's happening, and then also there's this guy named Michael Smith who wrote a book on Jaws 2, and he's putting out a revised edition of it, and then he posted from their Jaws 2 page that hey, we're going to do a release and a signing. And he's like, I'll be there, and some cast and crew from the film will be there. And I'm looking at it, and it says Destin. And I'm like, Destin, is that in Florida? And I click on it, and it's it's Destin, Florida, which is where they filmed some of Jaws 2. And I was like, well, God damn it, when is this? So I looked that up, and it's it's like in the next, I think, 2 weeks or something.
Oh my god!
And I was like, well, fuck, I guess I got to go to that too.
Yeah.
I have no clue like which cast and crew. I sent the flyer says it says Michael Smith and some cast and crew.
Ooh.
I message him and I ask him because I've met him a few times, so I message him, ask him, and he goes, me and some cast and crew. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
You're gonna find out
he's not going to tell me.
You're gonna find out he's dating a girl whose name is some cast and crew.
Yeah. It's just the three of you.
It's
in a
going to be
hotel room.
nobody.
It's nobody.
But anyway, like that's happening soon. SharkCon is happening.
Yeah.
My work tattoo convention is happening. DragonCon is happening, and then also like this year for DragonCon, I said I'm tired of just doing like Ghostbusters every year. I haven't made up my mind with doing the Quint costume, but I haven't worn a Star Wars costume in a very long time, and we all know how much like I love Star Wars. So,
Especially the recent
you
editions.
do love Star Wars.
I do. So I sold off some old costumes, and I have had a finished X-Wing pilot helmet for like a year. I went ahead and I pulled the trigger and bought the Novos jumpsuit.
Saw
And
that.
it's
Looks
in,
good.
and I own it. But I still have like a bunch of other pieces to buy, and I'm sitting here like wondering if it's going to get done before DragonCon, or if it's just going to be a whole other year before I wear this thing.
I think you can
And
do
that's
it, man.
stressing me out.
You can do it.
I think I can. Yeah, I'm going to try.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jake.
Yeah.
That sounds like some pretty real stress. We got a lot going on as usual. We don't stop. It never stops.
Very
Because
real
let me tell
stress.
you what. Not only does Jake got SharkCon, not only does Jake have DragonCon, we are going to be going to Fanboy Expo in Knoxville.
Oh my God, when is that?
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm looking that up.
3.5 weeks.
God,
What's
also-
the date
damn
on
it.
that?
I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
Hey, I think
Oh, I
everybody
need some
tuned in and here is
money.
talking about our calendar. After DragonCon, though, we're going to be at Spooky Empire.
It's like, hey, what did Yes Have Some do for their 100th episode? Oh,
They
yeah.
planned-
They planned their calendar.
They
They
planned.
complained.
They complained and planned their
Hey,
next couple
we're
months.
not cranky. We just got a lot going on.
True.
So yeah, we got a lot going on. We're going to continue to have a lot going on because we don't stop. We like doing fun shit. We like talking about it. Abigail,
It's
before
fun. Yeah.
before we go to your stress, why don't you tell everybody about what your snack of choice is this evening? That
This-
everybody hears the rapper.
This evening was brought to you by Sour Punch Straws. Because I had a lot of Twizzlers this weekend, so I'm moving on to something a little different.
Cool.
But also
What do you
fun
like
and
about the Sour Punch straw?
I like the shape. I like that it's like a rope. I love the sugar on the outside, and I like to kind of take my time with it. So
Cool.
I feel like I should stop talking about this
No,
now.
not at all. We have to have advertisements. Yes, Have Some this week is brought to you by Sour Punch Strawberry
This episode is
Straws.
brought to you by Travis.
210
Thank you,
calories per
Texaco.
package.
Thanks,
and,
Nassim.
if the Sour Punch Straws people are listening, that
Dude,
one was
send
for
me some-
free.
Send us some money.
That
Money,
one was
money.
free. Abigail, what's
Talk
No,
about
it's
that
not. They owe us
sugar
money.
coating. Oh my god, sugar coated stress. Yeah, I'm gonna rip off a lot of Jake's stress here because I'm stressed out about costume stuff, and I was just thinking about that. DragonCon is coming up. I have no idea what I'm going to do for costumes.
I have a feeling we have one episode last year and the year before that is this exact same
Yeah,
situation.
we always do it.
We do, yeah. It's a yearly. It's very fitting that this is our 100th episode.
Is there ever going to be an
Always
episode
eat
where,
sweet
like,
tomatoes.
3 months outside of DragonCon, we're like, we are completely ready and prepared?
I feel like there
I
were
was-
years. I had like
I
two
felt-
good years where I felt really prepared.
I felt completely prepared for MegaCon, and I think maybe that was a problem because I was super prepared for that, and now I'm going to be super unprepared for everything else.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I had like my outfits outlined. I had all my stuff
Hey,
prepped
Yeah.
and packed for MegaCon. I
not
was
to
like
interrupt
on
and go
point.
back to MegaCon, but we keep talking about how calm and stress-free it was. Do you think it's because we were all calm and stress-free?
For once,
We were doing pretty good.
we were.
Right.
We did good. Yeah.
We
Thanks,
did good.
fam.
We did good.
We did
hey,
good.
we had a big dinner.
Yeah.
At the- what's that place called? We got to
Ooh,
promote it.
whoa.
We'll come
I'm
back
having
to
a
it.
stroke.
Talk about your
It's the-
stress. We'll come back to it.
Okay. Cloak and Blaster? Or
Cloak
is
and
it-
Blaster,
I think
Orlando,
that's what
Florida.
That's it.
There it is.
We
All
got
right.
a colander full of hummus.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah. No, I'm stressed. Actually, my other stress was that we're not in Orlando anymore because I'm having post-con depression, which is like,
Talk about that. Post-con
It's not
depression,
so- yeah.
it's a real thing.
it's real.
It's diagnosable.
Yeah.
How does one deal with post-con depression?
Well, for me, I like to kind of live within all the photos and videos that I've taken for like the first initial 24 hours and just kind of communicate with friends and post things and look through things that I've taken videos of or look through the things that we bought and just kind of reminisce and stay in it. But
Cool.
then,
So to deal with your post-con depression, you like to stare at pictures from Indiana Jones' Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's got to
basically.
help.
Yeah. Oh, the
Yeah,
other
it
good
does.
thing to help you deal with post-con depression is kittens, which I came home to a bunch of kittens on my front porch. So
On
I'm
your
like,
French porch.
my French porch. But no, it's that's a good way.
Cool.
Hang out with your pets.
Cool. Jake, how do you deal with post-con depression? I know you're going through it too.
I usually buy stuff.
Oh, that's good. If you have
I
money, it's good
usually
to do that.
I usually well, I do it whether I have money or not. It's called PayPal credit.
Hello.
Damn.
Shout out.
Yeah,
PayPal.
no, I do the same thing Abby does. I'll look at pictures and maybe rearrange my toys, play with some toys and stuff. But usually I'm just like on eBay,
Yeah, just buying
just
stuff.
searching through like
Just
I
on
want
the
this,
hunt.
I'll get this.
Dude,
Yeah.
That's how I get after like Christmas or my birthday. Like if I get the it's very much like the taste of blood.
Yeah.
Like if I get a couple new toys, I'm
Oh,
like,
that's some-
I'm rearranging that house and there's more
Yeah.
toys coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like when that barge shows up next February, plan on not seeing me ever again. Plan on tuning into Yes Have Some and just seeing the barge sitting upright. Just that's how a barge sounds.
I'm gonna wake up to the barge in bed. I'm fine with that. As long as you have a skiff.
oh,
It's very important.
Hey, those vintage skiffs are going for a lot. If anybody has any vintage skiffs, DM me. Actually, don't. All right. And
Just don't.
I don't need it. It's too stressful.
It's very
Too
busy.
stressful.
It's 100. All right.
What else you got going on?
Let's see. Besides that, I started playing the Jurassic World Alive game today, which is like the. It's kind of like Pokemon Go. Jake, you told me about it.
yeah.
I really like it. I don't really know what's going on some of the time, but it's definitely enjoyable. I don't know how far you've gotten, Jake, but I would recommend to everyone out there. It's a really fun little app.
What's
if
the
you like Pokemon
what's
Go.
the concept when you play it? What are you doing?
That's what I think. You're catching the dinosaurs and like.
I think what
Take
you're
one and
doing
you
is
take over here.
you're. It seems like you're shooting them, but I think you're extracting DNA, and you're
okay.
after you get 100% DNA from one dinosaur, you can like create that dinosaur and you have it.
I did that with
And
one
then
of the ones.
and then
I
you
guess
can
that's better
fight with
than,
them. It gets to a point where you can like battle. I guess I don't know. I mean, it just came out like yesterday, so
yeah, so I don't know yet.
it's pretty
I guess
new.
it's better to go extract dinosaur DNA than go out and give them your DNA.
Yes.
That'd be a much
I don't
stranger.
need
Yeah.
anybody
Don't
giving
do that.
anything to
Not out on
anybody.
the street.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Jurassic World Alive. We're really excited about it. What's the concept? You fuck
Oh
dinosaurs.
God.
Yeah, on the mean streets.
On
The mean streets.
of Carillion.
God damn it,
Hey,
guys, you're dead.
listen.
Yes,
Positivity.
bringing it. 100.
Try
Jake, what's your drink of choice tonight?
root beer.
What brand? He's looking.
A&W.
Is there
Nice.
anything more satisfying than the clanks of the ice on the glass as Jake takes a sip?
Is
Oh,
that like amazing? God, that sounds good. This is ASMR.
again.
We're gonna get a lot of clicks on this video.
Yeah, people are gonna be like,
Whew, I was having a
Oh,
stressful
root
day,
beer,
but I
huh?
heard
There's
that.
root beer ice in this video.
all right, cool.
Tag it
Root
root
beer
beer ice.
Yeah, I'm tagging A&W in this one. Abigail,
Yes.
what else?
I think the last thing would be Dragon Con related, and that is that Evangeline Lilly is going to be at Dragon Con, and I really want to get a photo taken with her. But the photo company that usually does the Dragon Con photo ops is Froggy Photos, which we've talked about on here from Spooky. They did our photo ops with Richard Dreyfuss, and it was like a clusterfuck. The results were awful, so like I'm kind of stressed about going in and doing that if it's with a company that I don't feel confident in, because it's so stressful and it's so much money anyway to get a photo
It's the
taken
equivalent
at a
of getting
convention.
of going in about what company's doing the photo ops? Oh, it's called the Dharma Initiative. Like they seem trustworthy.
Yeah.
I thought Dragon Con got rid of Froggy.
I think they might have.
Did they?
They might have switched over to somebody else. I've never even done a photo op at Dragon Con before.
Me either. I can't really pretend to know, but I thought I saw that info.
Then let me research that. We'll address it later. But that's what I'd heard. So
Yeah. That's what I heard.
It's stressful
It's a little stress.
in either way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll see.
It's stressful. I've never done a photo op at Dragon Con. I'm usually too busy hanging out with you guys having fun.
That's true. That's the other thing is if I do want to do that, I'd have to like set aside time and like go through with it. It's like a whole planning
And
thing.
who has time for that?
Wherever you are is where the party is at Dragon Con.
That's very true.
That's true.
Well, cool. Well, that was some good 100 episodes.
Dude, yes, thank you. You're welcome. I did a real Craig move there. I just kind of thought of it.
You kind of winged
now.
it? Why is that a Craig? She's like, what I did is I didn't prepare at all, and I just kind of made it up on the spot and hope I could fake out the audience. You know, like a real Craig move.
It's a real Craig move.
It's a real Craig move. Hey, Craig.
What's up?
What are you stressed about?
Man, I'll tell you what, I do got some stress, and I talked to you guys about this. I've talked about it with a couple people this week, and this one kind of pertains to Yes Have Some as a whole, right? So the inception of our podcast was we were all getting hyped up, talking about Ghostbusters 2016 or Answer the Call or whatever you want to refer to it as, and we were talking about it, we were joking, and we were laughing, and we were having fun. I was like, man, let's start a podcast. Let's shoot the shit every week, have a good time, and get shit off our chest about the stuff we love, movies, TV, toys, all that. So, we talked a lot of Ghostbusters at the beginning, but some of our first episodes we were covering Jurassic Park. We did retrospectives on the first 3 Jurassic Park movies. And I don't know if you guys have ever gone back, but those episodes are really fun. Like, if you've just started listening to Yes Have Some, or maybe you started a long time ago but not at the beginning, I highly recommend going back and listening to those first Jurassic Park episodes because those are movies that we're all ultra familiar with and have seen and loved for so long that it's just fun to sit back and it kind of, I don't know, joke and laugh and love those movies. But anyways, again, I'm not going to cry. I came to the realization this week, and it stressed me the fuck out, that right now, in the summer of 2018 and going forward, Jurassic Park is a much bigger franchise than Ghostbusters. And I never I never took a step back to think about it. I always kind of figured like, yeah, Jurassic Park's great. Yeah, people like Jurassic Park, but Ghostbusters, that's like one of the biggest movies ever. Like people love Ghostbusters. You've got multiple cartoons, and you've got spin-offs, and you've got comic books, and you've got all this stuff. And then we're at MegaCon, or we're at DragonCon, or whatever convention we're in, and all I see is Jurassic Park stuff. And then Jurassic World comes out, and it's like the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
Like Jurassic World came out the summer before Answer the Call, right? And based on Jurassic World being the 3rd or 4th highest grossing movie of all time, I was like, well, at the time I was like, if Jurassic World makes $600 million, I mean, Ghostbusters is like $1 billion, right? It's going to make $1 billion. Didn't quite make $1 billion, but it stressed me out because I love Jurassic Park, but my allegiance has always been to Ghostbusters, and now I'm having a goddamn identity crisis.
Yeah.
It's
That
a
is
weird
stressful. That is
realization.
stressful to have like that kind of a realization. I mean, that sounds like you're having like a complete crisis over there.
Yeah, that the one thing you love is not as big as you thought, and that there's something else.
Listen, I am extremely ecstatic that we're getting a new Jurassic World movie, that the early reviews are great, that the pre-sale started today and theaters are selling out, and that I can walk into Walmart and Target and see tons of amazing exclusive Jurassic World toys. But it's a little bit of a bummer when I pick up my Aaron Gilbert figure, and she's got goddamn crooked eyes, and I can't figure out what the fuck's wrong with my franchise. Hey, will you find me that? Find me that Aaron Gilbert.
Yeah.
Find me something.
Yeah.
Because a man...
I'm going to try to stay in the
Craig,
when a man loves a franchise...
When a man loves an action figure...
I completely understand your frustration, but I mean, when you go back and look at it, I guess it all comes down to Sony and what they chose to do with the third. I mean, Ghostbusters could be, just as big as Jurassic Park, but they've been sitting on it for so long. And I know it's been a long time since, in between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World, but Jurassic Park came out in 1993, not, 1984.
Yep.
And it's just been in everyone's minds more recently.
Yep.
It got 2 sequels, whether they stood up to the first movie or not. It got 2 sequels that are, at the very least, are fun to watch. And when they rebooted it, they went about it the right way. You know what I mean? They didn't remake Jurassic Park, but they kind of remade Jurassic Park.
They rebooted it without. They did what Ghostbusters should have done, which is they rebooted it and retooled it without erasing the past.
Yeah, there's references to the original, but there's nothing. Yeah, that's exactly what they should have done, and it worked for Jurassic World. So
right now, for our listeners and our viewers at home, I am holding in my hand. In my right hand, I've got a Ghostbusters Answer the Call Aaron Gilbert figure. This one doesn't have crooked eyes because I spent fucking 6 months looking for one. And then in this hand, I've got Owen and Baby Blue. I love Chris Pratt. I love Kristen Wiig. But overall, I'm looking at this Owen figure. The packaging's better. The accessories are better. He comes with a little baby dinosaur. Kristen Wiig, you know what she comes with? There's no ghost in there. She comes with 2 goddamn feet.
Yeah.
2 feet to attend for the build of Rowan. I don't know what Rowan is. What is Rowan?
I still don't.
I get a little baby Blue in here. Little baby Velociraptor. Listen, all joking aside, I've got nothing. I love Jurassic Park. I love the Jurassic World franchise. I'm a fanatic. We just met Jeff Goldblum this weekend. But I'm calling it right now. My new campaign. We're 100 episodes in. It's time to make Ghostbusters great again.
Yeah. Or at least make hats for it.
That's
get those hats made.
We're getting hats made. So there's Make America Great Again, which is MAGA. There's Make Ghostbusters Great Again, which is Magiga.
Okay.
Magiga.
That one's gonna stick.
That's
the t-shirt.
Hey, somebody
That's
call a marketing company. Craig's on his way to town. Make Ghostbusters Great Again. That's my campaign for 2018 and moving forward. And what will make it great again, in my estimation, would be a new animated series and a new movie that takes place in the original universe and does a Jurassic World type of reboot. Acknowledges the past, looks towards the future. Amen, sister.
Amen.
Yeah, that's all completely true. But you know what else just strikes me as weird, listening to you say all that? How come there's never been a Jurassic Park animated series?
Well, there was going to be one, and what's his name did the artwork for it.
William,
the guy that
William
we like.
Stout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But isn't that weird, though, that, since it's come back, and it's so big again, there's no, it seems like something they could easily make.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be...
Have you seen... There's that video game coming out soon, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that at some point.
It'd be great.
Because that world is just right for animation. There's just all those... Make the dinosaurs talk. Make it like Land Before Time. I don't care.
Just make more of it.
Hey, we're going to make Ghostbusters great again, and my other campaign is keep Jurassic Park great.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't fuck with it. Yeah.
So that's my stress. Did I get a little preachy there?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's our stress for this week. I think it's time to do something special, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
About 6 months ago, Abby came up with a new concept. It's called the fuck budget. People seem to like it. It's where we take 5 topics and allocate our fuck bucks. You get 10 fuck bucks, but you can only give so much of a fuck about each topic, and you gotta spend your fucks wisely. This week, we're going full-on self-indulgence. That's right. It's the Yes Have Some 2-year, 100-episode, top 5 moments, fuck buckathon.
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Motherfuck.
I just made that part up. I
like it.
Fuck buckathon. So what we did is we put our heads together and we collectively came up with 5 either topics or moments that we've had as a podcast episodes that we've had that we considered maybe not our best moments, but our top 5 favorite things that have happened or that we've gone through. Is that fair to say, Jake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what we're going to do, for the first time ever, more history being made, I am going to take part in the fuck budget.
Wow.
Cool.
That's
Let's do it.
Big time.
It is big time.
All right.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Number 1 is...
What made it?
What made the list? Number 1. And also, if you disagree, if you're listening out there, if you have things that you have enjoyed about the show that you want to talk about or acknowledge, get on Yes Have Some Group Therapy and let us know.
Yeah.
Because we could have forgotten things. We've done a lot.
True.
I'm going to remove this Aaron Gilbert from the video. I'm not
Get it out
I
of
was
here.
going to request
Get
that you
it
remove.
out of here.
Thank you.
Get it out. All right,
We've
Abigail.
all moved on.
You
so-
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jake, you ready?
Do
Here
it.
we go. Number 1. This one's a little bit more recent. We attended the Days of the Dead 2018 convention in Atlanta, Georgia, and got to spend some time interviewing Alex Vincent from the Child's Play series, as well as 2 members of the original It miniseries. Jake, who did we talk to that day?
We talked to Alex Vincent from Child's Play. We also talked to Marlon Taylor and fucking Brandon
Crane.
Crane.
Yeah.
Which was
Well, I was going to say, we got to spend a little bit of time with all of them. And it was
great.
Yeah.
It was great because I put this out there a while ago. I don't think any podcast talks about Child's Play as much as we do.
Yeah.
We talk about it. It comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I mean, we talk about it a lot because the original's great, and whether the rest are good or bad, they're fun movies. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a whole episode on it last
Yeah, we
year.
really did. I watched them all. I think it was all of them.
You
Yeah.
watched every Child's Play movie in like a 2-day period.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was a
Did you
good
have
2
nightmares?
days. I did. It was a weird time in my life, but I kind of liked it. Yeah, I like Tiffany. Did I like Tiffany?
Nobody liked
Nobody
Tiffany.
likes Tiffany.
When it comes to us going to Days of the Dead and talking to a bunch of cool people, Jacob Walsh,
yeah.
how many fucks do you give?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
That's why we
I gave it.
asked.
I gave it 10 fucks.
What?
I gave it 10 fucks.
Damn.
Because I gave everything 10 fucks.
Yes! Damn it, dude. That's such a good idea.
You know, let me just go ahead and come out. I tried to give everything. I tried to stay under 10 fucks for everything and do this right. And I couldn't do it.
You just cared.
I couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? I'm breaking the rules. I'm going to the fuck bank. And I'm just going to give everything 10 fucks.
You went to the Gringotts fuck bank.
I went to the
Got
fuck
you
bank. I
fucks.
gave it 10 fucks because, like,
All right, there you go. Breaking the rules.
I mean, yeah, 10 fucks. Go ahead.
I like it.
all right.
Well, I stayed within the rules. I said I gave that 3 fucks. But yeah, I also want to give it 10 fucks too because it was extremely special. Interviewing all those dudes was something I'll never forget. And it was all a result of us coming together as friends first and then as a podcast secondly because I remember, Jake, you coming over to our house after Dragon Con, one of the first years, we watched one of the Child's Play movies together, like one of the recent ones. And I just...
Yeah,
it was
Jake.
just cool to
and
like
also,
have that happen and then
we didn't
later on down
ask
the
you
road-
to come over.
No one wanted you there. You were just hanging out. But yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's just
remember
cool
when that
to
was.
see it full circle.
Yeah. I don't. Should I play by the rules or not? I can play
And also,
by
I
John,
would read Stephen King if it wasn't
John
for
your
Jake,
Cable
so.
rules and give it other things. I give this 2 internets and 4 Jeff Goldblums and a pack of powdered donuts.
Okay.
So you give 10. You give 3, Abigail. I'm gonna give this one. I'll give it 3. 3 fucks. I thought it was really cool. Getting to sit down with these guys. Obviously, the guys from It were super down to earth, humble dudes. I think they're just excited to connect with fans for the because when the new It movie came out last year, it kind of reignited interest in the original. So it's just awesome for those. Like, it's great that we got to talk to them and everything, but it's awesome for those guys to be able to go out and connect with fans, do conventions, meet people. And I mean, they went to Birmingham, England, and they're doing like little mini reunions and stuff. I mean, how cool is that? You do a movie when you're 7 or 10 years old or whatever they were, and then 30 years later you get to kind of step back into the spotlight and meet people who you the equivalent is, let's say we just ended our podcast, and in 30 years we found out there was like people out there who were like, hey, oh, I remember that. Fuck them. I'm not going to a goddamn convention to do these. No. I think it's really cool. It was great getting to talk to those guys. And Jake, I know it meant a lot to you because you're, that movie's super special to you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, I did play it a little unfair and said I'm going to give everything 10 fucks, but I do feel like it was really special that we got to talk to those guys because it is like Stephen King's It is one of my favorite things. It's a movie that I've been watching since I was like too young to be watching it. It's my favorite book. It's just like one of those all-encompassing things that it's really cool to get to talk to those guys. And also like that was their first like thing. That was like they just started doing conventions, and that was kind of one of their first, if not their first thing that they've done since then. Since getting back together and doing the interviews for the It documentary that's coming out. So it was just really cool to get to sit and talk to them. They were like, both of them were super down to earth and just like recalling all these memories that they had from filming. It's like a weird experience. I mean, it's just like, it's hard to explain. When you watch a movie when a movie is in your life for that long, like, it came out in 1990 or something like that. And I've basically been watching it since then. And there are kids in that movie. And then to all of a sudden be like, here they are. Like, these are those kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk to them about this thing. Like, it's strange, but it was definitely like, it was a really cool, special thing that we got to do.
Yeah. I think just in general, going to conventions and getting to meet, I assume that a lot of the people who listen to us have some are folks that go to conventions and meet celebrities and meet these people that are in movies and shows that they love. And it is cool that we live in a time where we get the opportunity to do that. Abigail, you latched on hard to Stephen King in the last couple of years. What did you think talking to those guys?
I mean, just like Jake, I think I couldn't wipe the smile off my face the entire time when I was sitting there because it was surreal. But at the same time, they were extremely like gracious and down to earth dudes. It was like, I haven't been watching the miniseries as long as Jake, but when I got into Stephen King over the last 2 years through this podcast and because of my friendship here with Jake, it was like something that became extremely special to me. And that a book, it was I would say life-changing. It's definitely something that like I think about often and collect things from and I'm completely obsessed with. And being able to sit with like tangible like people who are a part of that lore and that mythos and that have, like acted out those parts of those characters that you care about. It's weird and it's like very exciting and very cool to be able to do something like that. And
Hey,
I'm very grateful that we got to.
You know who I feel bad for right now? Fucking Alex Vincent.
Also, Alex Vincent was super nice and he had a Chucky doll. It was very cool.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. I really enjoyed talking to all these guys. I mean, I don't have near the connection to Stephen King or It as y'all do, but that movie's it's just like an iconic part of pop culture. Like everybody knows Tim Curry as Pennywise. And so yeah, Days of the Dead, that's always a fun convention to go to in Atlanta. And I think a little bit later on we might talk about another time we went to Days of the Dead. We'll see.
Possible.
Maybe.
Hey, anything could happen.
It could. It's 100.
Cool. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Next up, 2017, spring of, that's how I talk, Star Wars Celebration. It was our first time going down to a Star Wars Celebration. We went as a podcast. We didn't know what to expect, but we knew that we were going to be getting some news and a trailer for The Last Jedi. Oh my, things have changed since then in the world of Star Wars. It feels like there's a lot of friction, but we went into that convention doe-eyed and ready to take on the world. Abigail Gardner, when it comes to Star Wars Celebration 2017, how many fucks did you give?
I give 3 fucks, the exact same amount of fucks. This was one of my biggest regrets, honestly, was missing the trailer drop event and going to the panel where that happened, because, like, it's one of those things where people camp out and you have to kind of dedicate time and energy to, like, get inside that panel. We didn't do that, and we just kind of witnessed it happening in a huge crowd of people, like, in the center of the convention area, and I still am bothered by that. Even though I didn't love the movie, I really wanted to be a part of that, like seeing things like pop up online.
You didn't know if you were
afterwards.
to love the movie or not.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was very excited about it, and the trailer was fine, so whatever. But that event was... Going to Star Wars Celebration was one of my favorite things that I did last year, and I think about it a lot. I'm excited for the upcoming celebration in Chicago, but I don't think it'll even be as good as Orlando was, because that was an extremely special trip. Got to see and do a lot, and I was totally immersed in that like Star Wars world, and that's something I hadn't experienced before, because Dragon Con is kind of like a little bit of everything, and then the smaller conventions, the horror conventions, aren't like that. Celebration was like high-level merchandise, exclusive stuff, long lines. It was different and good, and I really enjoyed it, and I still give 3 fucks in retrospect. So
Cool. Jake.
Yeah, I give it 10 fucks. No, I agree with I agree with everything Abby said, and I had never been to Star Wars Celebration before, but I had plans to go a couple times before that they'd always kind of fallen through. But I do think like we went to Star Wars Celebration at like the best time. It was like right at the height of, we'd already seen, the first movie came out and everyone pretty much loved it. And we knew we were getting that trailer. So exactly what you said, like we were super like, it was like being a kid on Christmas morning, being at Star Wars Celebration. I agree with you, Abby, that I wish we would have thought about it a little harder and tried to, like we were all on the way down there watching the like live footage of like, oh, hey, all of a sudden Harrison Ford's here and he's never been to a Star Wars Celebration ever. Here he is. Oh, hey, here's John Williams. Right.
Dude,
we were like,
yeah.
oh, we could. Why did we not do this?
Because we only went for the one
want to
day.
take an extra
Yes!
day. Like
And then
it
I
was
see-
so weird.
yeah, our friend Catherine posting videos of like meeting Ryan Johnson, and like I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
the fuck?
I know we all do this thing when it's something
Still
new.
mad.
We try to dip our toe. Sometimes you got to go all in. I remember being a little bit bummed driving down, knowing that we had friends there. I'm like, oh, cool. John Williams is just doing a little concert right now. Oh, they're doing Princess Leia's theme. Oh, everybody's crying. Where are we? On a goddamn interstate.
In a car.
Going to the gas
fucking
station.
car. In a goddamn Shell station. So yeah, won't make that mistake again. I give it 5. I mean, I love Star Wars so much, and I love Star Wars Celebration, and the amount of vintage stuff, and the dealers, and just the camaraderie, and all the stuff that comes with a convention. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was, I don't know if we've ever really broke it down. How, thinking back to the trailer, the first trailer for The Last Jedi, and what the final product was, does that shape your opinion of specifically Star Wars trailers going forward?
Like, you can't believe
Like
it.
being
let me-
a little more careful to
Lower your
like let
expectations?
yourself.
Let me give a little bit more context. If you go back to our Last Jedi review episode, which happened in December of 2017, you will know that both Jake and Abigail did not enjoy the movie as much as I did. The movie's polarizing, and it's definitely not perfect, and there's some stuff in there I love, some stuff in there that's, whatever. But kind of, yeah, Jake. So we all saw the trailer. I feel like at the time we probably all liked it a lot and were really hyped about it. But the wind was taken out of your sails a little bit when the movie came out.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's just because I think most other movies that I watch, I usually try to stay middle of the road with the trailer. Like even if a trailer is very good for something else, I still try to be like, all right, well that was just a trailer. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I kind of let myself forget about that for Star Wars because we just had The Force Awakens and like it kind of blew a lot of people's minds, and I was just like, Force Awakens was perfect. There's no way this is not going to be good. So if anything, I feel like it's Force Awakens' fault. You know what I mean?
Fuck J.J.
like,
Abrams.
Fuck him.
Fuck
No,
that
please,
guy,
J.
dude.
Please, J.J.
Please, JJ.
You're our only hope.
Love you.
No. Yeah, I see exactly what you mean, and I will be like that going forward. But I mean, like, I felt like the fucking Solo trailer was good. You know, that movie sucked.
Abigail, Star Wars trailers.
I feel like I had a weird vibe on the Solo trailer when I first saw it. But, yeah, I mean, I want to kind of have tempered expectations moving forward because I don't like being crushed or let down.
The Solo trailer debuted the same night that a new Cloverfield movie surprise dropped. So we were in a different headspace.
Was that the Super Bowl, too?
It was the Super Bowl.
Football, obviously.
It was also the same day as Days of the Dead. It's all coming full circle, guys.
Oh, my God, there were so many things. Yeah.
But yeah, so Abby, the trailer.
I think that I should...
What was your reaction to the Last Jedi trailer the first time?
Well, my initial reaction was I wish the guy in front of me would move because he was taller than me and I couldn't see the projection screen. But basically, I mean, everyone was freaking out over the "It's time for the Jedi to end" line from Luke Skywalker, which was kind of like a, what did he say?
What did he mean?
What did he mean? And I was just like, I want to see more training. And I wanted to see. I saw when Rey's hand like touches the rock and it shatters. I was like,
well,
oh
fundamentally,
my God.
I disagreed with everything, Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
That's my new Luke Skywalker impression, or my Mark Hamill.
I feel like I can hang out
Batman. With Sorry, I hate
Are we in the
myself.
void?
Hey guys, I hate.
Hey, that was. Are you still doing the Leprechaun voice?
Yeah. It was the Joker, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I loved Star Wars Celebration, like I just said. As far as the trailer goes, I'm asking myself questions now. Craig, what'd you think of the Last Jedi trailer? Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you guys. You know, seeing that trailer in that environment, like we weren't in the main screening room. Mm-hmm. You're still standing with Star Wars fans, thousands of them from all over the world, cheering, and you get the fucking... Here's another rant. I feel bad for people who don't get chills watching movies.
Yeah.
You know? Like, take it or leave it. We're going to talk about Answer the Call, but the first time I saw that movie, my little hairs were sticking up on my arm and the back of my neck because I love movies and I love franchises and I love Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park and Star Wars. And when you can have a piece of art or a piece of cinema elicit that kind of emotion just from watching a 30-second clip, like we've talked remember in the first Force Awakens trailer?
I was thinking about Finn's head popping up in the goddamn sand.
We didn't have some when the first Force Awakens trailers debuted, but I can't watch, especially the second one where you first see Han Solo. I can't watch that without turning into a puddle of mud. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Good reference.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm a puddle.
I like the way you smack my ass.
Oh, happy 100.
Oh, God.
I can't watch it without crying. Just like cry. Sorry.
You can't watch Puddle of Mud videos without crying?
I can destroy you. Hey, this is going to be in my top 5 moments on our 200th episode.
For next year, the time Craig just started singing Puddle of Mud.
Yeah. App?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a Puddle of Mud song. What are we?
Those are words I never thought I'd hear on Yes I Have Some podcast.
Yeah.
She fucking hates me.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was warming up to that.
La 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 la. People are like, unsubscribe.
Good. No
Let's
likes.
move on.
Comments. We're getting comments. Yeah, moving on because I already gave my
10 fucks.
I gave 3 fucks.
10 years.
3 reasonable
to life.
fucks because I didn't go to the fuck bank like Jake. I didn't get all the extra fucks. So
Let's go back to Days of the Dead.
okay.
2017.
Okay.
Episode 45. This is one, if you want to go back into the archive and check out, I highly recommend it. You can find it on iTunes. This was the day that enemy of the podcast, Linda Blair, who was not an enemy of the podcast before this day. This is the one people bring up the most, right?
You know
Yeah,
it.
I think so.
This is what we call the Linda Blair incident.
the Blair Incident Project.
I was literally just looking at our lineup here, and I was thinking if someone had shown me this 2 years ago before we started our podcast.
Yeah.
And, I saw that number 3 is called the Linda Blair incident. I'm like, what the fuck is
You're
going
like,
on?
what the fuck is
I love
happening?
it.
Right,
I love my
right.
life. So.
Seriously, if you would have... Okay, real quick, going back. If the day before we started this... never mind. I'll do this at the end when we reveal all the topics. Moving on. The Linda Blair incident.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl Sunday, 2017. We go to Days of the Dead. Jake, take us home, brother.
Jesus Christ.
What happened?
Well, This was such a weird.
What did Linda Blair do to you?
This was such a weird.
Show us on the
experience.
statue where Linda Blair touched you.
I feel like we said all this in that
nowhere.
episode. Craig and I are using the same jokes.
I'm reading my script from that.
We have the notes.
This was such a weird experience because The Exorcist is, I think, it's probably my favorite horror film of all time. It's my favorite or my top two. It's a very great movie. It's a very good book. I've always loved it. I've always thought it was like one of the only like exorcism movies that works. It's scary. It's fucking like it was kind of ahead of its time in a certain way. Like it's just such a good fucking movie. All around it's a good movie. So I was just like super excited to fucking get something cool signed by Linda Blair, who plays Reagan. She's the main character in that film. And she has, with age, become a little crazy. And she yelled at me for, I don't know, fucking, how long did this go on, Craig? It had to be like a full 5-minute thing.
Yeah, so basically you have the Pazuzu statue from the movie that you wanted to get signed. We get in line, and all of this is in episode 45, so I'm just doing a quick high-level recap. Abby was nowhere to be found. You missed out.
She was
I was
gone.
trying to get
She
my
was gone.
photos to load that you were sending me in my text
Abby was
messages.
Instagramming.
Checked out. Scramming.
I'm in line with Jake. Jake talks to the handler, says, I want to get this amazing statue signed. The handler's just like, okay, cool. We get in line. The next thing I know, Linda Blair is berating Jake.
She's having like a meltdown, and she's like, I feel like I'm minutes away from like crying. I was like, she's gonna make me cry. She's yelling
Or
at me.
she's gonna start crying.
She's like, she is.
I'm
like,
just holding Jake back. Don't you fucking make him cry. He's my friend. My fucking friend.
He is fragile. He is a fan. He just wanted to see you.
You think the statue's fragile? You think that the statue's gonna break? You're not breaking that hole with the statue, Mrs.
What about
Blair.
my little boy's heart?
Oh.
It was so weird because she saw the statue and flipped out, and she was immediately like, I'm not signing this. Who let this through? Who said this was okay? What did she say? Point her out. Where did you get this? Like she just started like,
Yeah.
I felt like I was
That's
on
stressful.
I felt like I was that kid on Making a Murderer, and she was just like interrogating me, making me like, I did it. I thought she was trying to make me like confess to something I didn't do. It was terrifying.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Blair. It was terrifying. So her whole thing was she was asking you. She was like, "Who told you I would sign this, and where did you get it?" She was like, she was being the merchandise police.
Yeah.
She was like, I can't sign those things. I don't know where that came from. This is unbelievable.
And also, I'm gonna fire somebody as soon as you point them out.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like,
So
Yeah,
Jake
which,
was like,
by the way, that person took off.
Yeah,
Like,
that
that person was gone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like
I would have too.
a ghost from our future who's like, I'm just a ghost. I'm not even from Days of the Dead. I just wanted to. Wait a minute.
Gertrude Aldridge.
What if we sent somebody back in time
to make that
to
happen.
make it happen because it became a really good story for the podcast?
That's a good idea.
That's probably
Hey,
what
we need
happened.
you to let this through. It'll alter the course of time.
But Jake, so we were talking about meeting Jeff Goldblum, right? When you look
Yeah.
up to somebody and you respect somebody,
Yeah.
whether it's a convention or on the street, like I've run into celebrities, I've run into wrestlers and things, and like it's always a good feeling when you have a positive experience, right? Just like whatever. So this happens, and I'm kind of like, I feel like normally in those situations I would step up and maybe like take control or say something or be like, Linda Blair, calm down. But I was frozen. I was like fucking like, I don't know how to react.
I looked at, I mentioned this in the other episode, but I did like look over at you at one point, and it was just like we both had we were both making the same face, and it was just like a wide eye, like we were in kind of shock and terror.
You look over at me and I'm doing the Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber. I'm like sucking my thumb, just pointing my finger at you, like he did it, not me. I don't know.
It was just such a weird thing, and we've talked, like, people, you can go back and listen to this, but I don't think it has anything to do with other than the fact that she kind of is ashamed of being in that movie, and her opinions might have changed, and she doesn't like the fact that the snake is kind of penis-like, and she refuses, she refuses to acknowledge anything about The Exorcist, basically. So I think she freaked out. And
I think she needs to get on the Yes Have Some group therapy couch and just like talk about and accept
needs to chill the fuck
herself
out.
and her past and what she's done.
Our ultimate goal is to have Linda Blair on Yes Have Some, but we all know.
Talk it out. We should talk.
No. I want to have her on the show. I want to have a normal interview. Ask her like stuff that she wants to hear.
Tell us about your animals.
Tell us about your Hallmark
hit her
movies.
with it, like the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Just fucking. Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, why wouldn't you sign my statue?
We'll do it in a rap song. This is my friend. His name is Jake. You almost had him cry. Stupid.
Oh,
Hey.
you should definitely do that.
That was my rap.
That was good.
Hey, we were really good. The first
we're
line.
gonna break through
Hold
her.
on. I got it. You don't sign statues. You don't think it's swell. And your mother sucks cocks in hell.
I think she's gonna come on if we just
If we keep rapping about it, she'll
doing that,
definitely come on.
She'll just appear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it works.
I'll get the crucifix. You guys get the lube.
No.
Did I just cross the line?
No, it's good.
Am I on crack?
That's how you make rap.
Or would that make a good logo? Abigail Gardner, what do you think about the?
Well, I mean,
even though
if we're doing fuck allocation to this, I would have to give it 0 fucks. Sorry, Jake. Because it wasn't my experience. Jake, okay.
Let me ask you this.
2
Hold on.
fucks.
Forget the fucks for a
Let
second.
me go to the bank.
What was your reaction when you walked up and you were like, "Hey guys," and we explained to you what had
I
happened?
recognized that your energy had changed, and I was like, oh, I felt really bad for Jake, to be honest, because that's fucked up. Like,
Right.
I've met celebrities and people that are influential to me or gone to panels to see people speak. But that in-person interaction, you'll never forget. So it's like, it's really messed up if it's a bad experience. And that sounds to me like it was all on her for being in a place in life where she's probably like just not not happy.
My thing is, at least it was like, okay, there's certain people where if I met them and had a bad experience, it would very much tarnish my experience watching their, like if.
Well, look at Kevin Smith. Like, every time he meets somebody who wants to take a picture with him but can't, like, because of their job, he'll take a photo anyway, and, like, he posts up something super sweet. Like, you see celebrities who really embrace it and who are all about being themselves, and it's like that's cool.
And when we met Richard Dreyfuss, like, we were all kind of prepared for the worst, and it turned out to be, like, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think, I don't know, man. Like, if I met Harrison Ford and he was an asshole to me, I think I would get kind of bummed out.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or turned on, I don't know. One of them.
I would be so turned on.
Jake's just like, yeah.
Well, I highly suggest everybody goes back and listens to the Linda Blair episode. It is episode 45, February 8th, 2017. We talk about it in great detail. But Jake.
Yeah.
There was some good news after this story with that statue, wasn't there?
There was. The director of the film was doing a little, like, an in-store signing because they were coming out with the soundtrack on vinyl. And a good friend of ours, John Yerkeba, was like, hey, man, I'm going to this. Send me your statue. So I sent it to him, and he got it signed for me, and he kind of, like, relayed the story to William, the director, and he kind of got, like, a little bit of a chuckle out of it, and was, like, very happy to sign it. And like, even, like, the Waxwork, I think, reposted the picture of him signing. Like, it was a very cool experience. Yeah.
You need to take it up to Linda Blair at the next convention she's at and be like, oh, I got the Friedkin. I don't even need you on this.
I don't need your
Blair.
fucking
But please, will you sign
Yeah.
Just try. Just keep trying.
Moving on.
One day we're gonna trick her into signing it one day.
Yeah. She'll be all looped up on her, I don't know, her cocktail
whatever she's looped up on.
Whatever she's looped up on, and she'll fall asleep at her table. We'll just put a marker in her hand and kind of rub the statue against it, and that'll be your Linda Blair autograph.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on here. 2 more. Number 4, episode 49, March 20th, 2017. We recorded a podcast from the legendary Stanley Hotel, the inspiration for The Shining. where Stephen King stayed and said, "Hey, I have an idea for a book," and then wrote the fucking Shining. We did a podcast from there.
Yeah.
Jake,
Yo.
what'd you think of that? How many fucks did you give about it?
10 fucks and one scary child.
I give
That
two.
was a very what you
I
could
give
do.
two because they're trans.
Two scary children.
That was a very fun episode, I think, and that was also one of those things that was like, it's one of those places I've always wanted to go to, and it's kind of one of those things where you don't really think you're ever going to end up getting to go there. You know, it's like it feels like it's in a different world. You know, when you look at pictures of it or you read about it, and that hotel is beautiful. There's a lot of history there, a lot of history with just like the hotel itself, Stephen King, The Shining, Dumb and Dumber. We got to see a lot of like props and just cool things, and it was fucking cool. We got to see where it all happened. That was a very fun episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Abigail Gardner?
I give it 3 fucks because, it's another one of those really big, important moments, and it felt full circle and special because Stephen King is something we talk about a lot, something I started reading as a result of, I already said that, this podcast and Jake. So going and seeing this hotel was extremely special, and it felt spiritual, and I really, really... Although, I will say there's a big regret factor because we did, like, the ghost tour instead of doing the regular history tour of the building, so I want to go back and like be able to kind of redo my experience and like actually stay in 213 if that's possible, because we were on the same floor, like we were in I think 208. I went back and listened a little bit to that episode today, and it just made me want to go back.
213. What's 213?
Isn't it 213? 217?
Isn't it 127?
No.
What is it? 108? What's the
213 and 217, correct?
Jake?
Yeah. You guys are confusing me.
Yeah, Craig, what's with your... You're stressing me out.
Well, I had a great time.
Yeah, room 217, The Shining, and then it's different between the book and the movie, so...
Well, what did I say?
Oh, 237. Oh, I said 213. It's 237 and 217. So
Welcome to Numbers with Yes Have
Oh
Some
my
Podcast.
god, I'm so glad we have this in the 100th episode.
I really liked staying at the Stanley.
I really did too.
Because we got haunted at night and we heard things.
We did hear some things.
We heard some
Yeah,
ghosts.
that was weird.
That was scary.
You know what was fun about that episode is I remember that, Craig, you were like basically falling asleep during recording it. And I listened to part of it this week.
Yeah.
And you are completely out of it. And you're like in the middle of sentences and you just stop talking and you're like, you say something and then you're like, what? Or you're like, what do we, you like, just get it. You're so exhausted. And I don't remember what day we recorded that on.
Yeah.
If that was the day, like we drove into town or whatever, but like, I remember it too. I remember you just being like so tired when we recorded it.
The altitude is like insane out there.
Yeah, why was I so sleepy?
Oh, we were on a road trip.
Yeah,
I don't know,
we had a
man.
lot going on. We probably had a big dinner, and I got tired afterwards.
It's true.
Probably.
We did have a big dinner there. We had
We did have a big dinner.
Cascades restaurant.
Oh, we did. That was that after the big dinner?
Yeah.
It had
Maybe.
to be.
Yeah.
They must have
Yeah.
put some tryptophan in my dinner.
Did you have some turkey?
Yeah, you're being a turkey.
Dude, I was like, yo, I like the Stanley Hotel. I like it so much that I'll have the turkey. And then I fell asleep. Cool, yeah, that was great. But guys, come on. Let's get to the main event here. The reason why we're all here, the reason why we're alive, wouldn't be the first time we talked about it, won't be the last.
Uh-huh.
Number 5 on the top 5 experience fuck budget. A little movie, Ghostbusters, Answer the Call.
Yeah.
This was kind of like 20 episodes because it starts at the beginning of our podcast.
This was kind of our reason for starting.
Yeah, we got a new Ghostbusters movie. It meant that we were going to be sitting in a theater watching a Ghostbusters film for the first time since 1989. We're all diehard fans. It's a big, important part of our life. And we had a lot going on building up to this movie. So, I want to run down a couple things, and we'll just have a general conversation about it. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Jake?
Yep.
YHS Live, May 3rd, 2016. We're taking live calls. Who calls in? Dan
It was
Harshman.
Dan Harshman. Yeah.
Dan Harshman did call in.
Dan Harshman. Who was next? Paul Feig, director of
Paul
Ghostbusters
Feig.
Against the Call, called in, spent 35 minutes talking to him. Wonderful guy, great conversation, super cool of him to call in. I definitely recommend going back and checking that out. We went to LA. We all went to the Ghostbusters premiere. And on the way back, we recorded a podcast on an airplane, 747. That's July 11th, 2016. Check out that episode as well. The three of us on it was like a red-eye flight. Let's just talk about that real quick. Before we get into the movie, talk about our feelings about Answer the Call. Abby,
Yeah.
we're sitting in the front of a plane. Not the front, but like the front before you get to the first class. It's 2 a.m. Everybody's asleep. We're giving our first reactions.
We're
Answer the
recording
Call.
a podcast.
We're recording a podcast.
I was having my own personal, like, what's stressing at that moment because I was stressed about keeping people awake on the plane and, like, getting in trouble because it's like most people get on a plane and, like, close their eyes if you're on a
Right.
red-eye flight. But it was like as soon as we
Like-
sat down, I was like, hey, let's have an animated conversation.
Hey,
Make
you
each
look
other
up,
laugh.
all of a sudden there's a third light next to the smoking and the seatbelt sign. It's like a microphone with an X through it.
No
Like,
podcast.
no podcasting.
Yeah. I remember that the flight attendant made us put, like, our stuff, our luggage up, and, like, I had some vegan cake. I was very stressed.
It was very
Jake-
We were eating some cake. Yep.
This is
Yeah.
my cake time, man. I've worked
This is
very
my cake.
hard.
Hey, it's 2 a.m. We're 40,000 feet in the air. This is my cake and podcasting time. Don't you know?
God, I miss that cake.
Jake, what were your thoughts podcasting in the sky?
I was also stressed out about the bag thing. I really wanted my bag with me. They made me put it up, and then I was able to get it. It doesn't make sense to me why I have to put it up. Anyway, I was stressed out that maybe you couldn't hear what we were saying because we were like kind of whispering. Because like
We're
Abby just
courteous
said,
podcasters.
like Abby just said, everybody is trying to sleep. We did have my favorite special guest on that episode. The pilot.
Yes. He chimed in a couple times.
who so rudely just interrupted us a few times. That was
facts.
very fun. I thought to do was the plan cat. You know, that was a very fun trip. It was like that's a like once in a lifetime thing. And even, you know, our current feelings on that movie aside, that's still something cool. We got to go to like a fucking world premiere of a big movie, and we met a lot of people. We got to do it with a lot of our friends.
Yeah.
And podcasting on the plane on the way home was like, that's a good end. Like, that's something we wanted to do. That's what we went there for.
Jake, you
And
got a
that was like
Slimer mask?
I got a fucking perfect Slimer mask out of it.
I was like, whoa.
I think podcasting in the air at the end of that trip was a good way to like, that was some good like closure for the trip.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
That was kind of a whirlwind experience, kind of branching off into going out to LA because we flew out there. We went to the world premiere of Ghostbusters. We hung out with all of our friends from all across the country. We met new people. We hung out with Ray Esposito from Ghostbusters Universe News. We hung out with Troy and Chris from the fucking Interdimensional Crossroad podcast.
John Yerkeba.
John Yerkeba, great friend of the podcast. All these, all Hal and Mitchell.
A bunch of people we've known for years. It was cool to have like our Ghostbuster family was there. You know, it wasn't like literally almost everybody we know in the Ghostbuster world like were there.
And in our room,
not
because
only
we all shared a hotel room together.
exactly, and not only did we just get to hang out with everybody, like we had that event at the Perky Nerd. We got to interview, you know, William Bryan and Robin Shelby and just kind of hang out there and like all that. It was just fun.
It was fun. It was a great weekend, and it was a whirlwind because we flew in on a Friday morning. We did the Perky Nerd event. We had the Ghostbusters premiere Saturday, which turned into like an all-day event. Saw the Ghostbusters. We saw the movie at night.
Yeah.
We spent the whole next day hanging out again. And then we flew back on that Sunday on the Red Eye. And then we went and saw it again.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Atlanta
Like the
for a
next day we
pre-screening.
went and saw it again.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a really interesting and
Roller
unforgettable
coaster, yeah.
72 hours.
Yeah, I remember getting in and like crawling into bed at like probably 5 a.m, a little bit before the sun came up, and then getting a few hours of sleep and going right back to the movie theater.
Right. I doubt, no matter what, we're never going to get a new Ghostbusters movie again for the first time in whatever 30 years. And
Right.
just sharing that experience with all of our friends and with you guys on the podcast, it was super special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leads
I agree.
us to our full Answer the Call review on July 14th, 2016. It was just 3 days after we recorded the plane cast. I haven't gone back and listened to it. I'm not going to lie.
I didn't either.
I'm not going to lie. It's our most downloaded episode ever. Just for a fun behind-the-scenes fact there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the episode where we gave all of our...
Fucks.
We gave all of our fucks, and we broke it down, and we talked about it scene by scene. And my recollection is that we were pretty positive about it at the time.
Yeah.
Jake, did you check out any of this episode?
I did not. I listened to a little bit of our trailer review, like when we first saw the trailer, and we were pretty positive in just the trailer as well.
We were,
but I agree. I think all three of us loved this movie for a good period of time at the beginning.
right.
That was kind of like the culmination of everything was getting to finally review like a new, whether the movie, like even if when we watched it for the first time and we fucking hated it, that still would be such a special episode, because it's like that's what brought us all here together. That's what we've spent so much like time in our lives watching is Ghostbusters. Like no matter what, just the fact that we're sitting down and reviewing, a new Ghostbusters film for the first time is like
enough.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So we've been very...
We loved it though.
We loved it, and I think a year later, I don't have the episode number in front of me, we kind of did a revisiting Answer the Call, and we were able to kind of get some closure, and it was pretty cathartic. Here's my thing, and I want to ask you this, Abby. Why can't you fall out of love with a movie? You can fall out of love with a person. You can love somebody and then be like, I don't love it
as a
anymore.
human being, we experience emotions and go through ebbs and flows and in our feelings and like how much you like something and whether you're into something or you move on to something else. And yes, I do think that opinions can change.
Right. There's a lot of people who loved The Phantom Menace when it came out who, over time, didn't love it anymore.
Yeah. There are factors that can contribute or color your opinion of things, especially when you're closely involved like we were. Or when you want something so desperately to be better than it is, then... you can sort of convince yourself of anything.
Right. Now, that's really interesting you said that. We're getting serious now. Jake, Abigail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we were convincing ourselves that we liked it or loved it, or was our genuine reaction right off the bat very positive?
I mean, if we're talking honestly...
I mean, I want... Hey, we've been going at this for a long time. We're 100 episodes in. Abby... Give us the truth.
I mean, I think I had that feeling in my gut when I first saw it in the first, 15 or 20 minutes of, this is not a really good movie. This is... By the end of it, when it wrapped up and the long credit sequence was going, which still had a bunch of little jokes and stuff in it, I remember feeling a distinct level of, is this all... I believe I'm dissatisfied. I think I'm let down. I am going to kind of deny that feeling because I've only seen it once, and now I'm in my uniform with all my friends in uniform with Paul Feig outside. So it's kind of maybe sort of like a suppression of an actual opinion in order to kind of it. Because I mean, I don't think anyone wanted to be like, hey, there's some weird things going on in this movie. There's a few lines that didn't really land for me. It takes a little bit of time to step away from it and to see it again in perspective.
I want to loop back around to that because that's really interesting. Jake?
I definitely think that there were some things about it that I wasn't into, or maybe I didn't like as much. But I do feel like my first impression of the movie was that it was good. I think genuinely I thought it was good. And the reason I feel like that is because that second night that we saw the movie I feel like I liked it even more that second night. Like I don't know what it was, but that night when we saw it in Atlanta, it felt funnier to me. I felt like all of us were just like laughing nonstop. And I don't know if that was just like an infectious thing because of the audience, like the
mass
whatever.
hysteria.
I remember coming out of it that second night being like, this is actually like, of course, like after the first showing, I was like, it was just such a weird time. And Craig, you've said this before, like it was such an insane weekend that it's almost impossible to actually like sit down and focus on a new, like, so like I did come out of it the first time liking it and genuinely thinking that it was good, but I had a few things that were, bothersome. But after that second night, I was like, no, this is a good movie. This is good. I like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember liking it the second time more, feeling of more of a reaction to it.
I think for me, there was so much buildup for this movie, and there was so much hatred and like nonsensical like just bullshit going on. Like it felt very much like, okay, if I even so much as open the door to being able to criticize this movie, it was like almost like a fear. Like, does that mean I hate women? Because I don't. I love them. I love them more than men. I didn't. I think I was fearful of being part of the thing because I wanted the movie to be successful, right? I wanted it to blow up and be the thing that completely blows Ghostbusters up to a brand new stratosphere. And then the franchise would go on and we'd get movies and shows and merchandise. And even if I walked out and was like, that was garbage, but I am going to support it because I want it to do the thing that I want it to do.
And to go on to do more.
Right.
Too.
Because remember at that time, we're like, dude, we're going to get like 2 or 3 movies in this universe. We're going to get movies in the original universe. And there's going to be like a Netflix series and an animated show. And it was going to...
Yeah.
And I think what I realized was... we saw the movie 4 or 5 times in theaters, and by the 4th or 5th, like Ghostbusters is a movie, the original, that I've seen hundreds of times. I could sit there, watch it all the way through, and restart it. I love it. I laugh. I cry. It's everything to me. By the 4th or 5th time watching Answer the Call, I started finding it to be tedious at points. Like I started being like, okay, this scene kind of is boring. Why is this in the movie? And then I started kind of being like, well, why are the characters' motivations what they are? And why is Bill Murray in this, but he's not Peter Venkman? And I kind of started letting the hype die down and just trying to observe it as a movie standing on its own. And that's where it really started hitting me that like, oh man, I feel like they missed the mark. It was right around the time when it came out on Blu-ray and I was able to just watch it in the comfort of my own home where I was like, ugh. But credit to us, we didn't hold back. I think it was almost like the same day we were on the phone, we're like, is this movie not very good?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Should we
It was
talk
when we
about
saw that extended director's cut and you see like the dance sequence and you're like, wait, all the other stuff that almost got in this was somehow even worse than the stuff that made it in. And that's like a really disconcerting realization of like...
Right. It was stressful, man. It was really stressful. I listen, we bring it up all the time, and I think it's easier to joke about it at this point, but I know that movie means a lot to a lot of people, and there's people who really love it, and for those people, I think that's amazing.
It still means a lot to me. Like, I would say our investment level and, like, association and involvement with it, it still means something to me.
I agree.
Think about it, yeah.
And when I watch it now or when I see it, it takes me back to some really good times. Mm-hmm. But objectively, as a Ghostbusters movie, it's just not where it needed to be to take the franchise to the next level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I highly recommend listening to that first review.
Yeah, if you love the movie.
Because what you're going to see, it's not that, like, what I love about movies and what I love about doing this podcast and what I love about connecting with people who listen to the podcast and with you guys is that opinions change. Opinions evolve. Your love of a franchise or a movie or of an actor or of an actress, it can change for good or for bad, right? Jake, I know for a fact, not putting you on the spot, you were not an Anne Hathaway fan, and then you saw
Yeah.
Colossal, and you were like,
Yeah.
I think I like Anne Hathaway now.
You're right. No, you're right. She always bothered the fuck out of me. I saw
Right.
Colossal, and I thought she was amazing in it. I was like,
Right.
whoa, wait.
And Abby,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No, you're right.
You can change your opinion. When I saw Jurassic World, I was like, wait, do I still like Chris Pratt as much as I liked him in Guardians of the Galaxy? So yeah, you can go either way.
Yeah.
Things
And
can turn.
that's another movie. I enjoy Jurassic World. To me, is almost the reverse of Answer the Call, because when I saw it in theaters, I was kind of like, okay, that was fun, but I was expecting Star-Lord, and it was okay. And I felt weird about Jurassic World when it first came out, but now, like, over time, it's grown on me, and anytime it's on, especially that third act, I watch it, and I really enjoy it. And Abby, I think you were kind of in the same boat as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like grown on me, and I like it more than I did when I first saw it in theaters, which is the opposite of Answer the Call in that effect. So,
and I don't know, it would probably take a whole other episode of analyzing all the whys behind that, but we don't have time for that.
No.
This very second. But hey, it feels good to shake it off.
Jake, you gave that 10 fucks too?
I did, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Even though it was the movie itself didn't come out being the best thing, like I gave it 10 fucks for the experience.
Yeah.
You know,
That's cool.
I
had
wouldn't
1
like
fuck, so.
whether the movie's good or bad. Like, I would never. That's one of the coolest things I think we've ever been able to be a part of.
Right. Well, cool. Well, listen, we're going to start wrapping it up. 100th episode's here. We have absolutely no plans of winding down anytime soon. In fact, I would expect us to wind up.
Let's wind it up.
Let's wind it up. We got Fallen Kingdom in a couple weeks. We got a whole lot of dinosaurs to take in.
I gotta catch them.
But
I
before
figured
we
out if
sign
I'm like
off,
shooting them with a serum or if I'm extracting something because I'm not
putting
really
it
sure.
in.
One of
Something's
them.
happening.
I've got 2 dinosaurs. That's all I know.
I did want to say before we wrap it up, thank you, heartfelt thank you to all of our listeners, anybody who's ever supported us, anybody who's ever downloaded, listened, told a friend. It's fucking awesome.
Or reached out and like posted things in group therapy and like that means a whole lot to us.
It does mean a whole
Absolutely.
lot. I mean, we connected with a lot of people. We've met a lot of cool people. Jake, the shirt you're wearing is as a result of one of the connections we've made.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and I love it.
William Vega, he posts on Group Therapy. He's got a shirt shop. We wanted to Save the Dinos shirt. Bam. We got to Save the Dinos
Delivered.
shirt.
Yep.
We delivered.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That even looks better than the one you could buy at Hot Topic now.
I think it is because this one's accurate to the one in the that you see Claire wearing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, heartfelt thank you to everybody who's supported. Please keep supporting. Tell your friends. You know the stuff we talk about. If you want some fun, like we have that balance. It gets exciting, it gets cynical, gets a little
Dirty.
dirty, then it gets really serious and heartfelt, and we almost cry.
Yeah,
And then Jake cries because fucking the Exorcist woman.
because
is yelling at
Linda
him.
Blair. Exactly.
But we're gonna wrap it up at YHS Podcast on Twitter and Facebook. No, Twitter and Instagram. Facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast. Yes, have some group therapy, and also the YouTube channel. We're live. We're not live, but we're on video. You can see us doing our thing, shooting balloons. But we're gonna wrap it up right now. A little bit of a rapid fire. If you don't have an answer, say pass.
Okay.
Abigail.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. We're going rapid fire then.
Abby.
Yes.
Biggest regret over the last 100 episodes.
I already said it. The not going to the panel for the Last Jedi trailer at Star Wars Celebration. So.
Cool. Jake, same question.
I don't mean to like steal Abby's stuff, but yeah, not being at Celebration longer for the
Jake, I stole your
entire
stuff,
time.
too.
I think.
My biggest regret over the last 100 episodes is not pressing Paul Feig harder on... I feel like if I would have just been like, listen, Paul, keep it in universe. Keep it. It'll be easy. Keep it in the universe.
He was in the
I think it was
editing
a little-
bay.
He was
could've
literally
fixed it.
at the editing place.
Yes.
Listen, if you have one line in this movie, you can connect the universe. Post-credit scene. Connect. Keep it in the universe. That's my biggest regret.
Also, is soup funny? I don't know. I don't think.
I don't think
that's
soup is funny.
We should have talked about it.
Okay. We didn't know at the time. Oh,
We were.
hey, go listen to our review. That's 3 motherfuckers who thought soup was funny.
You know. Soup
All right.
was funny.
Abigail.
Yes.
Favorite moment.
I would say probably doing the interview like we were talking about with the cast from It with Brandon Crane, Marlon Taylor. That was very, very special. Cool. So yeah, and probably just going to Celebration and also going to MegaCon. That's like a recent, really special memory. So yeah.
There you go. Jacob Walsh, favorite moment?
It is very, very hard to pick a favorite moment. I'm gonna say our time at the Stanley Hotel.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it.
I would say that my favorite moment, gosh, it might be the Stanley Hotel, man. Being outside in the snow, chasing deer.
Ooh, those little eyes popping up. That was very cool.
I liked it. I might come back to that.